So we'll be doing a detailed anatomical scan of some of the smaller nerves branch off from the brachial plexus. So again, we'll get our view of the subclavian artery, which you can see here, and the brachial plexus by placing our linear high-frequency transducer slightly above the clavicle. So again, my orientation step is to first scan the brachial plexus and localize each of the nerve roots. So we'll scan upwards, okay? And we'll be looking for first the C7 nerve root, which you see here, okay? And the corresponding C7 transverse process, okay? We'll then scan up to see C6 nerve root and the C6 transverse process. This is the anterior tubercle of the transverse process here. And then we'll find the C5 nerve root and corresponding transverse process. Once we've got a better handle on our anatomy of the brachial plexus, we then can scan downwards and look for nerves that are branching off of the brachial plexus. So one of the first ones that you're going to see here is the dorsal scapular nerve. It usually runs in a hyperechoic plane through the middle scalene muscle, which you're going to see here. Okay. In this particular standardized patient, it's not very obvious, but the dorsal scapular nerves will live in these hyperechoic planes. So if I don't see it very well, I have a backup plan of having my nerve stimulator on at a background current of 0.03 milliamps. And if I get too close to that dorsal scapular nerve, then I'll get a twitch of the scapula. So another nerve that lives in a hyperechoic plane through the middle scalene is probably your long thoracic nerve. So it usually lives in a deeper hyperechoic plane than the dorsal scapular nerve. If we continue to scan downwards, what you'll see is C5 and C6 join together to form the upper trunk. So here's the superior trunk or upper trunk of the brachial plexus. And as we scan even further down, we'll see C7 form the middle trunk. So again, we see C7 here, okay? And it's a nerve root here, but now it's starting to form multiple fascicles and then become the middle trunk, okay? As we scan even further down, what we're seeing here is we're seeing the superior trunk actually split into two divisions, the anterior division and the posterior division. And as we scan further down, we see an artery which is possibly either the dorsal scapular artery or the transverse cervical artery. So you can see major vessels do live in this area, so you need to be careful of them. As we scan further down, we see a flat hypoechoic muscle here, okay? This is going to be the omohyoid. And we know that under the omohyoid, the suprascapular nerve takes off and tracks laterally. So that's what you're seeing actually over here, is the suprascapular nerve tracking laterally. So if I come back up, we'll see it go back and join the brachial plexus. But as I scan down, you'll see a hypoechoic little circle leave the brachial plexus, okay, and track laterally. And the first hypoechoic circle to take off and track laterally, that's going to be your suprascapular nerve. This is just an anterior approach to the suprascapular nerve under omohyoid.